On this episode, we finally made it to Alaska after a 4,330-mile trip since turning north in Moab, but we had a slight hiccup when I popped positive for COVID.
Life is a winding road.
We find ourselves in a familiar situation, waiting for the ferry. We got here at what, 11? 11 this morning?
Yeah, it's noon, little afternoon. There's probably about 4 more RVs in front of us, and it's about 25 minutes per, so we're still about an hour and a half back.
We're on the ferry after another half hour of waiting.
To the gentleman in the Newmar giant Class A, don't snake an entire line of like 10
RVs to go to the non-RV lines.
It's
so
a total move, dude.
It was not a cool move at all. So he snagged our spot, so we had to wait 2 more times. But we're on the ferry.
And Karma will take care of him.
That's right.
We followed our friends Lee and Kelly down top of the World Highway.
June 14th, and there is snow flurries. We are at 4,500 feet.
Although the roads aren't very good, the mountain views more than make up for it.
After about 28 days in Canada, we are getting ready to cross back into the United States and into Alaska. Here we go.
Lee and Kelly crossing the border.
Border crossing in 45 seconds, maybe? Took our passport cards, didn't even ask to see Stormy's health certificate. So we are officially back in the U.S., in Alaska. What do you think, Stormy? Are you in Alaska?
So we made it to Alaska.
We made it!
We are heartily adventuring up here.
I thought we were taking a picture.
Oh yeah,
Having some serious deja vu of being on the dumpster. Except this time, we're towing a trailer. A little less fun.
After a couple hours of bumpy driving, we arrived at Chicken, Alaska, where we were greeted by Mama Moose and were able to spot one of her twins hiding in the woods.
Our friends just told us to look outside, Lee and Kelly, caravanning with them. And what do I spy with my little eye? Another Oliver. What are the chances?
To celebrate our Alaskan arrival, we headed for the Chicken Creek Saloon. The saloon has a unique decor of hats, bras, and panties adhered to the walls and ceiling. If you've got to use the facilities, where better than the chicken poop? Legend has it that Chicken was named when the miners couldn't figure out how to spell ptarmigan. These signs show us this town of 12 people is in the center of everything.
Suck Egg Hollow. Eggenbacher, Austria. Chickabugala, Barnyard, Cluck.
I was feeling pretty run down, so we called it an early night. We made one quick stop before leaving Chicken.
Cutest post office ever.
During this portion of our drive, we got the first views of the 600-mile-long Alaska Range, then stopped for the night at the Moon Lake State Recreation Site. By the next morning, I was feeling pretty horrible, so Kelly got me to take a COVID test. She was negative, but I was positive. We spent the next week hunkered down while Stormy watched the butterflies, and Kelly also contracted COVID. So we started this adventure by self-isolating. At the end of our self-quarantine, we headed to the end of the Alaska Highway. We're at the end of the Alaska Highway. We didn't officially do the entire Alaska Highway because we went up into the Dempster instead. But this is the end of it.
Made it!
And I tried to swat the Alaska state bird. For the next 9 days, we stayed at Fort Wainwright Glass Park Campground. Stormy wanted to play on the river, but first we had some work and housekeeping to take care of. Since mosquitoes are a big problem in the interior of Alaska, we sprayed our clothes with permethrin. Then it was time for some stormy-scaping.
Are you getting a much needed haircut today? Are we a proper poodle now? Still got Don King hair.
Others have pointed out it looks more like 1980s Tina Turner. As we started feeling more energetic, it was time to mask up and head out to the University of Alaska's Museum of the North, where you can see a complete skeleton of a bowhead whale, a comparison of mastodon and woolly mammoth bones, early Alaska inhabitants like these juvenile hadrosaurs, This 8-foot 9-inch brown bear is quite the greeter. And then there's the one bear we haven't seen on this trip. Then there's this fine example of an Art Nouveau outhouse. And if there's a quilt to be found, Kelly will find it.
Did a quick 15-minute walk to the other side of campus, to the engineering building where I'm told this is where the end of the Wild Bus is currently being restored. So we're gonna go check it out.
Bus 142 started its life in the Fairbanks City transit system. In 1961, it was brought to the Stampede Trail as housing for a road crew, and is currently undergoing restoration at the University of Alaska in Fairbanks. The Magic Bus, as it's also known, gained some notoriety after the death of Christopher McCandless in 1992. Once the restoration is completed, the bus will be exhibited in an outdoor space near the museum on the UAF campus. After the museum, we picked up a couple of pies from the Hungry Robot. I got a bogan with barbecue sauce, rub pork shoulder, seasoned chicken, bacon bits, sweet red onions, mozzarella, and smoked Gouda. And Kelly got a make-your-own Hawaiian. Both were delicious. The next day, we popped Stormy in the sleigh and headed to see Santa. Greetings from the North Pole! North Pole, Alaska, that is. This is a city about 15 minutes out of Fairbanks that embraces a Christmas spirit year-round. Sure, it's a little kitschy, but we had to let Santa know who's been naughty and who's been nice. And Stormy wanted to visit the reindeer, which are just domestic caribou. Then it was off to Latitude 65 Brewing Company to try a couple flights of their beer. Just so happened a local animal rescue was having a fundraiser that day.
And they want to say hi. Aw, you guys are interested in Stormy.
Throughout Fairbanks, we noticed these pedestals at all the parking areas. We thought they may just be super RV friendly, but come to find out, it's to keep the engines able to start in the cold winter.
First fun activity we've done
Since getting to Alaska?
And COVID.
And COVID.
So, yeah, so we'll see. How long is this paddle?
About 14 miles, I think.
Down the Chena River?
Chena?
Super excited to be out and about and finally doing something.
So Stormy.
Paddle down the Chena River. After 10 months, finally got a paddleboard back. And we have access to the water. And I'm so anxious to get out there and try it.
The Alaskans are very creative on ways to stabilize their riverbanks. Beautiful, huh? Yeah, my man.
Bunch of old cars used as riprap.
Stormy seemed to enjoy watching his feathered friends along the shore.
All for a float down the river. Come to a fork in the road. Where do you go?
Stormy didn't much care by this point. He was exhausted.
I think that 14-mile paddle took it out of a pup or two.
More than 2 weeks after arriving in Alaska, it was finally time to start our adventure, heading down the road towards Denali. We'll see you there.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.